Ladies and gentlemen, another update in Skibidi Toilet Battle. I got really sick recently, so sorry for the wait. Let's make this fast so you guys get your video. So what we have today is the Executor Total Counterattack event, including the new unit, the Executor, which apparently is a healing unit. Okay, wait, let me check the channel. Oh yeah, actually. Okay, so I would say we're gonna bring him as high as possible, because I also didn't have time to farm, unfortunately. I think 500 will do for now, unfortunately not 1k. Okay, together with that we also get two new weapons. We have the Speaker Cross and also the Speaker Sickle. We're gonna try them out both and see what they do. So let's check them out. We have the Executor right here. Looks quite awesome. Of course, we're talking about a Speakerman type unit. Okay, let's see what this is doing. So we have a long beam here, and then we're using the sickle. I hope it's not gonna make the same sound. Okay, no, it does not. Okay, the sickle's a lot better. Let's see what the sickle's actually doing. Nothing, because I don't have a proper opponent. Yeah, that sucks. I can't use it here. Okay, we might do that in Endless. But first of all, let's look at the Executor that has 3 skills, which I will show you here as well. Actually, 4 skills, technically 1 attack and 3 skills. The first skill will be that he spins the scythe to block frontal attacks, which is like a defense skill. Then hurls it forwards for 2 seconds. I don't know, it's a Chinese. Before retracting it. The second is Executor Speakerman slams the ground to launch nearby enemies into the air, which we will check by putting 3 next to each other because it's AoE. And skill 3 is plunging into the ground to form a cross and fires energy balls, which is a ranged attack. Might do this first. This move taunts foes and provides healing and buffs for allies, which is why we will put someone next to him. And then we see. Oh, there he goes, yeah. He's starting with the energy... No, that's not the energy ball. That's the slice. That's the hurl. Okay, that is the slam. These should be the balls, right? Yeah, those are... Oh my god. Okay, I'm not seeing any energy balls. The problem is that this guy is not coming. Oh, but he's buffing himself with defense. Wait, with defense reduction? No, but with damage reduction, probably, yeah. Okay, quite good looking skills. We're gonna do a quick reset because I didn't look at the numbers. I was just looking how it works. But let's look at that again. So we get the hurl. What is happening with the hurl? We don't get any debuffs here. Okay, interesting. Then the second one will be the smash, which brings them up. Bop. I mean, they're not in the air. They're just a bit more away. No debuffs here. And we're also... Yeah, they're getting taunted, so they're always attacking the Speakerman. So he's effectively really being a tank, trying to focus all aggro on himself, or all threat. That's quite nice, and buffing himself in the meantime. Okay. Really decent unit with a really cool effect. Of course, probably quite laggy if you have 4 of those in Endless, but overall, a pretty decent unit. Nice. And of course, we also want to try out the event, which we're gonna do now. And here we are in a return event, looking quite cool. What we can see here as well is that we have another AoE event, which is why the recommended combination is Cameraman and Drillman for this event. Of course, you guys can do whatever you want. Also, Clockman will definitely do something because of the high AoE damage at the start. But my recommendation will be everything AoE related. And yeah, Drillman is really good with that. Speakerman doesn't work as well, from what I've seen, so those two are good. The biggest problem here, of course, again, is that someone is in the lobby who is using clock units, especially using the small clockman or the large clockman here, but not the non-titan clockman, which of course stuns all my units, which is still a problem in my opinion, because those stuns should go on like opponents, not on your team. But you can at least see then in about a minute, like in a minute and 15, I was already doing 400 million damage. Oh, that's a waste of time. Let's go to private server real quick. So we're testing this alone once more so we can see the actual damage. Okay, let's do it again. We're taking those two and see how much AoE they can actually spread. The first 15 seconds and we already have 40 million damage. The cameraman is kind of dead though, so of course we have to keep spamming him. That is the biggest problem, as always. But I think if we can do this, then we'll have quite some success. The only problem here, which might need the Clockman, who also can't do stuff. Okay, we just have to respawn him quite frequently. The biggest problem here is that they can't do their moves. The Drillman is partially doing its move, but also not all the time. So we're gonna see how we do that. But if he's doing his move, then he's doing it really frequent. I could even consider to only use Drillman. But if the cameraman does his move, then boy. That's quite some damage. That's quite some damage, but it's really annoying. I would recommend to have like a macro here to spam those two. Or do it like me and play on an emulator where you can bind the buttons to the keyboard. Because clicking that is annoying. Okay, something I just noticed is that I was doing a really big, like I was on a really good streak. I probably would have gotten like about 5 billion. The problem is that at some point they surrounded me so hard and I kept respawning it just for it to die. So what happens here, it's probably also, yeah, it's gonna be visible anytime soon. When they're too close, they're gonna kill your units too fast. I mean, my units are maxed, by the way. And you can see they are dying so damn fast, I have no chance. In that mode, I have to change the location so I can attack them again. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. That's how I was wasting a lot of damage here. Okay, I must say, meanwhile, it's super annoying. I don't want to move around every 5 seconds so they're not close enough. So they're not too close. They're quite annoying. It might be because I'm sick, but I'm getting annoyed by this right now. But even with this issue appearing constantly, where now you can see it, we're close to 4 billion. So I guess without that issue, 5 billion is actually quite realistic. For me, personally. So then let's see, what's going on here? 134, yeah, the typical grinders are here. Alrighty. I'm not sure if I will actually play this event often, because I kind of prefer to rest, but if I have a lot of things to open, then you will see it in another video. It's 1 hour later, and I forgot that I wanted to show you the weapons. Okay, so looking at the speaker scythe, or sickle, I think it's sickle, we can see it does damage, but I don't see anything else than normal damage. And here, but I don't see any stuns or anything. Then we're gonna switch to the speaker cross, which has a really annoying laser sword sound. And now we check the range. Okay. What is it supposed to do? Okay, it's just doing damage. It has a decent range. But in the end, it's just doing damage. There's no stun or anything, right? We're coming closer. Yeah, at least I'm not seeing something. Of course, it's problematic to see buffs applied to them when they're instantly dead. But I think there's no way, no better way of testing it. Unless I would just let my Titan drill do the work for a bit and then try to kill something on a higher wave. Testing it again. No debuff. Alright. Hope you enjoyed this one. Have a wonderful day. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.